our produce here and put an embargo on them, then we grow. From there, Honorable Speaker, I want to look at the local government. I think this is an area that is also very, very important, and there are a lot. Thank God it has been mentioned, now we are ready to bring in the 2002 Local Government Act. But what I did not even see, and I'm expecting that one to be part of the report, that is the land policy. And the number one time interestingly, Honorable Speaker, this by Parliament, because there are communities in my constituency that are yet to be determined, whether they belong to the Gambia or they belong to Senegal. Notably among them is Dar Salame, Dimbaya, and Bajira. These are serious areas. Most of our development are in an area that is clear. Borehole. Go to our end, Tamara end, we have about 17 boreholes. But the level of encouragement by the estate developers is just too much. So that's why we need a land policy, and if possible, cadastral mapping, to make sure that we have land banking for specific projects. Yeah. Probably residential.
You've talked about communities in your area where development is centered and those communities claim to be in the foreign nation. Could that be on the NU majority? Let me observe, please. Could that be captured in the land policy, or is that a boundary issue? I want to be clear with that. Is it a boundary issue, or that could be captured in our land policies? Please, thank you very much.
I want it to be captured also in the policy, because we have areas that we have districts that are very much connected. So these districts, there are a lot of conflict going on between district and other districts in terms of land dispute. So that is why those boundaries need to be clear, one. Two, we need a policy in land usage. Two. So this is the dimension.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Brikama South. I now invite the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabigi.
Thank you.
Hello, Speaker. Can I observe something? Speaker, can I observe something?
Honorable Speaker?
Yes, Speaker. Can I observe something?
I think Honorable Speaker just called Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabigi to speak.
Honorable Member, just
if he's going to observe, I have to allow him to observe. You called and I was already on my legs, so I think my time has started. I will only allow observation.
Member, please. Honorable Member, who was talking?
Yes, Lower Fladu.
Huh?
Lower Fladu.
Lower Fladu.
Yes.
And what were you saying?
Yes, yes, thank you. I just want to remind this gathering, and I'm observing for the fact that the Honorable Member that is set to talk decided to march out of this chamber. He did not want to listen to the speech of the president. So I think it is not of just for him to speak on this.
Honorable
Please.
Speaker,
Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji, can you take the floor?
thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I did not see anywhere in our standing order that says if you boycott the president's sauna, you shouldn't participate in the debate. Now, before I go further, I thank the Vice President and all the ministers that are present here. The only thing also, I'm not very impressed with the attendance of the ministers. I think if the National Assembly members get quorum, ministers should also try to get quorum when we call them, because if you look at Section 7 of the Constitution, please. It is.
Honorable Member, when a point of order is raised, you take your seat and the person will, which member is saying point of order?
Yes.
Sabak Sanjal.
Honorable Speaker, I just want to raise a point of order 12 on the quorum. Are we having quorum now for the honorable member to proceed? Because it says the presence of at least one half of the members shall be necessary before the commencement of a sitting. So I don't know whether he has to. Yes.
Honorable Member, in fact, before you put it, you should have just ascertain yourself where there till we are about or less than a quarter of members present. Can the honorable member continue?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. They have started their destructive method, but I will refuse it this time around. Now, if you look at Section 77 of the Constitution, that mandated the president to appear before this National Assembly every year once. But if you look at our standing order, Section 24, is very, very clear. The president must appear in the last quarter. For me, if the Constitution is silent on the time for the president to appear, that is a lacuna in the Constitution. If our standing order is very clear, Section 24, that the last quarter of the year, the first quarter rather, I think the president should appear in the first quarter, because the essence of coming to state of to give for the State of the Nation address is for us to track the development agendas of the government. If you appear in the last quarter, it means we cannot track it very, very well. So going forward, I will advise the Constitution is silent and our standing orders is very clear. I think our standing orders should take precedent here. Now, I don't want to address all the ministries actually, because I cannot perform any soliloquy act on the stage, talk to myself when the ministers are not here. I'll only address the ministers who are here. Those ones
that are not here, I'm not going to waste my
president not being present. And now your attention is called to the fact that the vice president is here with us. Acknowledge that.
I know the vice president is here because I started, I mentioned his name in my preamble. What I'm trying to say, one of your prosecutors appears during our session with the Human Rights Commission. It's like, if I understood her very well, she was trying to give us the interministerial approach with regards to the implementation of the TRRC report. And by way of education, then education and justice ministry to take responsibility of this. Now, if you also look at the criminal prosecution aspect, because if you look at it, it's like criminal prosecution, reparation of victims, then you go to the institutional reforms. I think there are certain things that can be very, very, very easy to do. Like, for instance, it was in the government TRS recommendation that the president should not patronize any religious group. For me, this can be so easy by just writing a letter to Supreme Islamic Council, to the Christian Council, that the president is not going to patronize any religious group. But still, I don't think none of these religious body received that kind of letter. These are type of recommendation, these are type of implementation that is not Western. I think it's high time the Justice Ministry to write, for the president to write to this religious group to tell them that the TRC recommendation said the office of the president cannot patronize any religious group. These ones are so easy. Now, if you also look at because what I fear is for us to go back to dictatorship. I think the Justice Ministry should let judges do their job. I think the judge who ruled over the Global Homes affair at one point was frustrated, and he left this country just because I was told his salary was not paid. I think if the Ministry of Justice want to interfere into the rulings of judges, this can bring another dictatorship in the country. So now that the Honorable Minister is sitting down here, I think it's better we leave judges to do their job so that we are not going to slip into any dictatorship again. Now, going to agriculture. A previous speaker said agriculture is the backbone of this country, and I concur with them fully. We went on track, and it was very disturbing. The project implementation strategy of Ministry of Agriculture is not very, very right. I will advise the minister to the project coordination unit. What the directors complained to us was the project how do I call it? The project staff are not answerable to regional directors, and this is very wrong as far as project implementation is concerned. So I'll advise the ministry to put their house in order to make sure.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on the point of order.
May I hear the point of order, please?
I'm rising on clause 26(2). A member
Clause. Order is made. You wait for a decision. Yeah, honorable member, I think you have yourself noted it. Address all your concerns to the speaker, please.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Still at agriculture, it's like when we look at your projects, it's like one project is always very similar to the other project. That is why at one point we requested for the complete project completion report so that we will be able to know if these projects are similar or not. Because what I realize is one project will phase out without completing its aims and objective. Another project will kick in, which sometimes the implementation is very, very the same, or is very, very the same. So therefore, we will advise the Ministry of Agriculture to make sure that, because these projects are loans and grants, if they are similar, it's like we are just repeating. So we have to make sure the projects are not the same, so that their implementation studies can also go parallel. Now, with Honorable Speaker, the Youth Ministry, I think the previous speakers has already mentioned, we visited Chairman, and we were told that this particular institution is under the Ministry of Youth and Sport. Now, we will agree that agriculture is the backbone of this country, and this particular institution is specializing on agriculture. So I will advise the Minister for Youth to make sure this place is uplifted, because when we went there, it was very disturbing. Even their residents were not very good, their conference rooms, etc., etc. So the Minister of Youth and Sports should make sure that this particular institution is put in order. Now we go to the defense. We will also agree that security is very, very important. And what we did not see still is the security agreement between the Gambia and Senegal. If you go to Fonyi, Fonyi is part and parcel of this country. And it's like the presence of the Senegalese troop is quite disturbing. So we will probably want to see the security agreement between Senegal and Gambia so that this National Assembly will be informed on the way forward. Now, strategic planning and delivery ministry. This is the new ministry that's probably under probation, and I think the minister, I want to give the chance to the minister in few months to see how he will be performing. But as of now, I don't think I want to hold this minister accountable for anything. Now, the Ministry of Works, my own minister, I don't know whether he's here or not, because I have not seen him since in the morning. I don't know whether he's here or not. Now, this particular ministry, the problem there is project monitoring and implementation. And I think this is becoming a problem as far as the OIC projects are concerned. The implementation strategy one contractor is entitled to only one contract, not several contracts. Especially Honorable Sane mentioned with regards to Pavifort. This man has a lot of contracts, and eventually he's not performing in most of the contracts. Now going to the Vice President. I didn't contract procurement process and eventually awards of contracts. The Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, I did not hear anything like the OIC projects from the speech of the president, and I think the OIC projects are very important to be mentioned, especially water and electricity. this is something that I did not hear. I don't know what is the state of this project implementation. With regards to Ministry of Interior, we visited the prison last time, and it is very, very disturbing that prisoners are living under that inhuman condition. For me, I always advise myself that anybody can go there. We met former ministers, we met former directors there, so therefore, anybody can go there. The prison condition is very inhuman. It is not in good shape at all. One small room, you will have more than 20 people, especially at the remand wing, you will have more than 20 people sleeping there day in, day out. So I'll urge the Ministry of Interior to make sure that this place is maintained to suit human habitation. Another thing will be the Prison Act. I think it is high time that the Prison Act to be brought before this National Assembly, because according to them, the act they are using is still a colonial act which did not favor some human right conditions. So therefore, I will urge the Ministry of Interior to expedite that process to bring the Prison Act back to the National Assembly. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji. I now invite the Honorable Member for Kiang East. He's not here. Kiang East is not around. I now invite the Honorable Member for Tumalna. Is out. I invite the Honorable Member for Lower Nyomi. Lower Nyomi, is he around?
Good evening, Honorable Speaker. Good evening, fellow National Assembly members. I will recognize the presence of the Vice President, the presence of the Honorable Ministers, the presence of the security services, the media, all the National Assembly staffs here. The National Assembly staff, it seems they were forgotten since in the morning. I didn't hear anybody mentioning about them, and they are rendering a good service to this assembly. Thank you very much for all the services you render. Here and make a wonderful speech. um, to extend this message to the health minister that my community, there is a health center at first in Jagachoy. This health center, they need an ambulance, and it's kind of urgent. It's one of the health centers that has the largest number of referral cases from that end to SL District Hospital. I would like the Honorable Minister of Health to please assist with that as soon as possible. Two, from SL Health Center to Banjul, sometimes they do get late referrals when the ferry is closed. Honorable Minister, I would like you to help with a sea ambulance that will able to evacuate patients from Barrow to Banjul at odd hours. I don't want to lengthen my speech because people are tired. They've been sitting here for all day saying the same stuff, the same thing over and over. It didn't worth it. But I have an advice to my fellow National Assembly members. What I want from my fellow national again to my fellow National Assembly members. I want us to reflect back our memories. To each letter stands for something or means something. R for respect, S for security, and T for trust. I'm urging my fellow National Assembly members in order for us to respect one another, have security, built-in security to one another, trust one another. These three letters, if any of them is missing, that means we will not achieve our goal. And our goal is to move this country forward together with the current able government. Thanks to the 5th legislature, on that note, Honorable Speaker, to start in my deliberation, I will say God bless you all. God bless the Republic of the Gambia.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I first of all want to to come and address this August. We all need to tighten how best can it be improved 100% come next. It is used properly. Sometimes, as I'm speaking to you here, less than 30 minutes ago, I read that there is another killing that took place in Sanchaba through the use of mobile phone. Where are we? It is definitely sad and it is definitely hard. And what we need to know here is that in this, everything has to be responsible. Let us be ready to take up the challenge as a nation, work as one Gambia, one nation in order to improve this country. Looking at the agricultural sector, I really have to thank the agricultural minister for seeing him distributing farm tools in Nyani for the first time. And I definitely appeal to you, if we can have more farm tools to be distributed in Nyani. Looking at transport, that's page 38. If you look at page 38, in the President's Nation Address, he said, furthermore, government has finalized the maintenance and reconstruction contract using the road fund for the proper upkeep.
Honorable member, refer us to the
page 38
and the paragraph.
Transport, works and infrastructure, page 38, 6.
6, okay.
6. Furthermore, government has finalized the maintenance and reconstruction contracts using the road fund for the proper upkeep of selected roads in the Greater Banjul area and the North Bank and Central River region, which I definitely want to commend the government. And I wish this is even to start tomorrow. Because when we look at road network, it has some implications in reaching the health sector. We have some of our areas in Nyani, some of our villages that are almost 10 to 15 kilometers away from the hospital. In most cases, especially in the middle of the night, someone in labor trying to reach the hospital now with that bad road condition, inability of vehicles or whatsoever, how will that particular individual reach the hospital? It's always challenging, especially in the rural Gambia. We also talk about health, coming up with the key achievements in health sector, especially in the aspect of the national insurance scheme. When you talk about this national insurance scheme, will definitely help us as we border in Senegal, and the fund of our drugs, it depends on the population that is available in that particular area. In most cases, we have intruders, we have people who will come from Senegal and they'll be attested by some of our alcalos for them to go and get medication from our hospital, which find it very, very difficult. And the other challenge there and concern that I have regarding that health insurance, looking at the nature of certain areas in Nyani, network is a problem, talk less of internet connection. How will those areas be registered? And I would definitely want the minister, Honorable Speaker, I definitely want the minister to take note so as to see what plans will they put in place before reaching those particular areas? In the same health sector, page 18, looking at the distribution of the community ambulance, page 16, rather, page 16. Yeah, normally this is widely uploaded in this country, which I definitely want to commend the president for that. Honorable Speaker, looking at the population of Nyani, the total population of Nyani as of 2013 census is about 28,343 people. That's the population. And looking at the health facility that we have in Nyani, that is Kundaur Major Health Center. As I am speaking to you, we have only one medical doctor in Kundaur, and there is no surgical doctor, and there is a lab, but doctor is not available there to do the necessary operations. There's one of these scenarios that happened in August. A woman from these particular areas was in labor and was to be taken to the hospital. She was on a donkey cart. Before reaching the hospital, she gave birth. After giving birth, she has the long route we want to serve our country. Definitely, we need attitudinal change. The ferry service should be there to respond to emergencies every time, at any time they are needed. And this has been happening there. August was not the first time, and if no solution is put in place, it will not be the last time. Honorable Speaker, I definitely need support from the Minister of Health and from the Office of the Vice President in order to find solution to those problems. On that note, I thank you for giving me the floor.
Chairman North and Minority Leader. He's out. I now invite the Deputy Speaker, nominated member, Honorable Sidi Yai.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I
want to thank
Honorable
His
Speaker, can I
Excellency.
observe, please? Honorable Speaker, my tag was up since in the morning. I have been waiting. Yeah, but I should be called again. I am back. No, but before the
Honorable member.
Yes, I said my tag was up and my name was listed. You called me, I was out, and I returned, and up till now, I am not called.
No, honorable member. That's not a fair statement. I called you, you were not here. Yes, those who are here.
Yeah, but I am back again.
Pardon?
I am back in chambers again.
Then sit down. Sit down and wait. Honorable Deputy Speaker, can you take the floor, please?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank His Excellency would have sufficed in accordance with the 1997 Constitution, but he decided to come with all members of cabinet who are in town. Those that are not here, they are not within the jurisdictions. So this is indeed democracy at work. And this shows that under the leadership of the president, that the country indeed is transforming, where the cabinet respect the National Assembly in accordance with the 1997 Constitution, and that you are here sitting with us up to early morning, and members of the National Assembly, of course, bipartisans, have issues, raised their concerns, where at time may not be palatable to His Excellency, the Vice President, and members of Cabinet. That we need to recognize. And that any member who is contributing, we must acknowledge the fact that this is a positive transformation. This could not have been possible without the commitment of His Excellency the President and his government to the total and true separation of powers. As members of Parliament, one of our main functions is oversight. We are not an executive arm of government. We are the legislative arm with our primary responsibility of legislation, oversight, and representations. And for them, as executive, recognize Honorable Speaker, I would indeed summarize. I will not be like the Honorable Member for Central Bodywood. Honorable Speaker, but we have to make some record straight. Honorable Speaker, the President has indicated in his statement from infrastructure to health, agriculture, education, energy, youth and sports, civil service, the list goes on, that he outlined his government policies and programs on those sectors. The road infrastructure, which is very, very key in catapulting the development agenda of any nation. The President and his government
Honorable member, if I had honorable member, members have even asked people permission from them, and they have commented either against them or on behalf of somebody. Much more, yes, observations. Now, the honorable member in his deliberations will want to say what he feels is right, either to comment or object to or accept or whatever. That's his right.
Honorable Speaker, you need to concentrate on the speech of the
Honorable member, your point of order has been decided. We now have the honorable member to continue.
Honorable member, you cannot distract me. Honorable Speaker, in his intervention, he indicated because of lack of water, some premature babies died on that day. Honorable Speaker, I want to ask him a question. Premature babies, do they use water or premature babies are put in incubators? These are the facts. Honorable Speaker, we cannot come to this National Assembly and mislead the nation and create a situation where you kind of anxiety, fear on the people of the Gambia. That is not accurate. Honorable Speaker, we want to commend the Ministry of Health. Now, when you go to the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital and other health facilities in the country, our young nurses, doctors, and officials at the Ministry of Health, in various health facilities in this country, they are committed to service delivery under a condition of probably mega resources and equipment. That is the fact. Honorable Speaker, on rural electrification and expansion project, the honorable member for Upper Salem has indicated here that the president won for in 2023 and 2025. There's this universal access to electricity and his government commitment also to provide electricity to every country, every constituency in this country. That the people of Nyanija and Upper Salem are very happy because these are the constituencies in Central River Region North that have never been benefited from electricity from colonial to Second Republic up to now. The First Republic, Second Republic up to now. So government that is responsible and responsive to the people will only be interested in providing key services, social services, education, agriculture, health, energy, and road infrastructure. And that's what the president is telling us, and that's what his government is doing. The honorable from Central Badibu to Nyanija, to Wuli, to Kantora, to you come to Combo South, to KM, and to North Bank. Every constituency you go to, every day, the government of the Gambia is providing basic services to every Gambian. We want to thank, and we want the honorable member and all of us to thank the government for that. On agriculture, Honorable Speaker, the President has indicated his resolve and that of his government that of course, the crisis in Ukraine, the COVID-19 pandemic, and other forces continue to affect all sectors of society, but especially, most importantly, agriculture. Today, we must link it to Ukraine, which is one of the world's largest producers of grains, and we rely on them. We also rely on India and Pakistan for rice consumption in this country. That this government want to diversify it and also want to ensure that food self-sufficiency in rice production and productivity. That is why the Ministry of Agriculture, under the current minister and his team, are committed to ensuring that rice production is maximized. When you go to my constituency, yes, when you go to my constituency and my region, Central River region and the Upper River region, they are blessed with a lot of inland and lowland rice fields that could be harnessed to ensuring that in the next 2 3 years, Gambia could be able to produce rice for consumption and exportations. Therefore, I want to urge the Minister of Agriculture through the Vice President for them to continue to expedite that process so that the millions or billions of dollars annually that government spend on subsidies and or importations of rice into this country could be used for other sectors, health sector, energy, education, so that we'll continue to train our teachers to give our children befitting education. Honorable Speaker, I will definitely be ending my statement soon. Honorable Speaker, you know the honorable member for Commercial talked about in his own words the popular vehicle policy. That was very unpopular vehicle policy because the intention was bad. Honorable Speaker, we talked about service delivery in the civil service and in all sectors. When you talk about service delivery, you need a highly trained, skillful, and of course, well-motivated civil service workforce for them to be able to deliver. But the vehicle policy, as it was meant to demotivate the civil servant. And no responsible government will allow policies or programs that are ill-intended and the end result will be to destroy the civil service and the workforce. That vehicle policy was unpopular. Even the honorable member himself knows about it, and we want to commend government for stringent measures that they continue to uphold in the area of course, vehicles and other expenditures, in tandem with ensuring that, following the creations of the Ministry of Civil Service, that they will look at the whole civil service, not only vehicles, but also what can be done as a government to continue in ensuring that service delivery is maximized. For example, the central bank, you go to the central bank of the Gambia at this time, and the National Treasury, they've all gone to work. Can we think beyond vehicle policy that is very bad, denying people, directors, deputy permanent secretaries, vehicles? Can we think about how do we move from Nilan Kodan Dohale of closing, from working from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and start to look at some key ministries or key institutions where if they cannot work 24 hours on shift, at least some people could stay up to midnight for essential service, even on the weekend. You go to other countries, you need something urgent here in this country, from the National Treasury or the Central Bank, you have to wait. When it's 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, you have to wait until the following day. So that's how we should be thinking. But not about policies that will depopularize government, policies that will demotivate civil servants, that have political ill motivation. Honorable Speaker, we want to thank government for that. On finance and economic affairs, the Honorable Minister for Finance and her team, what a commended. Because the directions at which this government want to operate on is through prudent financial discipline and macro policies. The Honorable Minister for Finance tabled a revised budget here. We all know that that budget, the revised budget presented here, was as a result of government realizing some of the things that were in that budget. We are not realistic. And that also following the president's commitment to increasing civil service pay scales, that is to improve their welfare and to motivate them for service delivery. That we want to commend government. I want to thank the president for that, and we hope it will serve as a motivating factor. It is not right for businessmen to hold Gambians to ransom by the mere fact that government increased 30% of pay. So therefore, the bag of rice, bag of sugar, bag of onion, whatever, should double up or should increase. That is not what the government intended. And the intentions of government is to address the hardships of Gambians. Honorable Speaker, you know, when you talked about the judiciary or courts, that is not under the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice have no control over the judiciary. This government is founded on the basis of respect for rule of law and good governance. That is why, under the current government, the independence of the judiciary is being respected. Members have indicated that here for the first time, because there is transformation, that any member, any citizen of this country can go to court against government or against even the leadership of this country, and you are protected. Due process has been followed by all actors of the state, including all organs of the state.
Bring it. Thank you, honorable nominated member. Honorable member, that merit that you're talking of, we all fought together, is the effort of the Gambian people that brought that change. It's not Adama Barrow, it's not President Adama Barrow, it's the Gambian people.
Honorable member, I can safely say that you don't believe in that statement. That is the Gambian people collectively. You know, Honorable, during politics, each competitor have an agenda and program, and you go to Gambian and share your agenda. Based on the agenda you have and what you believe in, and the type of government and governance that you want to operate on, when you are elected, you sell it to Gambia. And because President Adama Barrow's policies and programs is based on respect for due process, respect for fundamental laws of this country, respect for rule of law, and freedom of President Adama Barrow, and since his assumption to office, he continued to improve, not only to renegade on his promise, but to improve on those promises, and that is the reason why Gambia is recognized as one of the best countries within the sub-region in terms of respecting fundamental rights and due process, and that's what you are enjoying and respecting.
You cannot distract me. Honorable Speaker, it baffled me for an honorable member of the National Assembly to question where the president indicated that this country is transforming. The same honorable member in his intervention indicated that 22 years of dictatorship, no respect for people's rights, no due process, flouting constitutional provisions, people are detained beyond 72 hours without charge.